I may not look like it, but I am actually a 9-foot tall navy blue dragonborn with exceptional stealth. At least, that's what I am in Dungeons and Dragons. Today I'm going to teach you how to play D&D. In a time where we can hardly go out and social interaction is limited, Dungeons and Dragons is a way to go on an adventure and connect with our friends on an even greater level. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for 4 years now, and I've seen it improve the social confidence of me and my friends. Today I'm going to teach you what materials you need, how to build a character, and what to do in combat encounters. In the words of Philip DeFranco, let's just jump into it. Alex Meehan, a staff writer for Dicebreaker, wrote an article in 2019 titled, "What to Buy If You Want to Play Dungeons & Dragons 5e." In it, she says that new players should get a player's handbook, a set of polyhedral dice, a notebook, and a character sheet. The player's handbook is used to build your character and know the basic rules of Dungeons & Dragons. In a set of polyhedral dice, you should get a standard 6-sided dice, as well as dice with 4, 8, 10, 12, and 20 sides. You need a notebook to write down important information that you learn while playing the game, especially since full campaigns can last several months. And finally, you want a character sheet to organize your character information and keep track of everything. Now that you know what you need, you can build a character. There are 5 steps to building a character, in which you have to determine your race, class, abilities, your background, and your equipment. Adam Bradford suggests on his website called D&D Beyond, which he made in 2017, that players think about how they want to play the game before they build a character. When picking your race, you want to think about race proficiencies. In the Player's Handbook, which was edited by Jeremy Crawford and published by Wizards of the Coast in 2014, it states that elves are more dexterous than other races, and dragonborns are stronger. When choosing a class, you should think about 3 things. You should think about whether you want to play defense, offense, or support. A defensive class would be something like a barbarian or a cleric, while an offensive class would be a fighter or a monk. Bards and rangers are more of a support class, and wizards are kind of a wild card for any of the 3. There are 6 different abilities in Dungeons & Dragons. These abilities are strength, constitution, dexterity, wisdom, intelligence, and charisma. And these abilities tell you how well your character performs certain actions, like persuasion or stealth. In a 2018 YouTube video titled Handbook Helper Ability Scores, Matthew Mercer, the DM for Critical Role, explains how to determine the scores for those abilities. He says to take 4 6-sided dice, roll all 4 of them, and drop the lowest number. Add the 3 highest numbers, and do that 5 more times. With your 6 scores, you then put your scores into strength and constitution depending on your class and whichever arrangement benefits you the most. When it comes to choosing your backstory, that's more of a personal thing and a personal preference of who you want to play. And that's entirely up to the creator of the character to decide. When picking out equipment, you just use some common sense. A small dwarf can't wear heavy plate armor, and if your character doesn't know how to use a bow, you don't give them one. There are other stuff like spells and feats that I haven't mentioned, because in Connor Sheridan's article on the Games Radar website that he posted in 2020 titled How to Start Playing D&D Even If You Can't Meet in Person, he suggested to keep it simple. If you're still learning the game, you should just have a simple fighter character who can get you through until you've learned the basics and have gotten used to the experience, and then you can add spellcasting and other things. Now that you know how to build a character, you can learn how. I'm going to teach you how to engage in combat. Combat encounters start when everyone in your party rolls initiative. Initiative is just rolling a d20 to see who goes first, and whoever rolls highest goes first. On your turn, you have two actions. There's your actual action and then a bonus action. Most people use their bonus action to walk up to an enemy and use their action to attack that enemy. When attacking an enemy, you have to roll against their armor class. Armor class is just a number that you have to meet or roll higher than to hit them. If you don't roll high enough, you miss, but if you do, you hit them. When you hit them, you then roll another dice to see how much damage you do. The damage is based on what weapon you're using against them. So if I was to stab someone with a dagger, I would roll 1d4. And if I was to hit them with a sword, I would roll 1d6. Now that you know how to fight and you now know everything that you need to play Dungeons and Dragons. You've learned how to create a character, how to fight, and you even know what materials you need. Dungeons and Dragons is a tabletop role-playing game, but it's also an experience that helps people to grow and make friends and learn more about themselves. Thank you for listening.